That's hot. That's what that is. What you doing, bud? What you doing? You gonna come and do the intro with me?
Go on then.
What's going on, guys? We are back. So last week, as I'm definitely sure you've watched by now, if not you probably should, watch how we made the drive shafts for the Yaris. This week we're going to finish them up, so we're going to put the little sleeves over and get them welded in, which would mean we could, if we had the bits and the grease etc., close them up and have some finished shafts. That would be wicked. There's no reason we can't do that, but I'm just not sure we'll get it done. We are then going to take a look at the exhaust. So I'm going to be using the Celica downpipe, which I hacked off, which is just chilling there. So I'm going to hack that off. I've got a spare flange from when I made the exhaust. Again, I'm sure you've watched that video, but we'll get that welded on, get that cut, make any adjustments that we need to get that to mate to the existing exhaust system. That'll be a really good job done and out the way. So I think without further ado, without me waffling anymore, let's take a look at the exhaust. One hasty Amazon purchase later, maybe now we'll get them off. I'm not too hopeful. Let's continue. Bloody hell, actually worked. Anyway, let's get a slice in. Some proper Planet Brain film in there, real smart stuff, but got that welded on. I'm just gonna have a little crawl under there, offer it up on the car and mark the orientation of the flange, get that welded on, and that will be our downpipe done. Marked up. Wicked. Just gonna tack it in place for now because you just know that inevitably probably not going to line up when we've pulled the engine and put it back in. Need to adjust them out slightly because currently can't get one of the bolts in. So we'll have a look at that when we make them out properly. Let's get this welded on. Back on the messy fab bench, and we have two drive shafts. See, covered these in the last episode. So just see where they've been welded up, but they almost look mint. What I have had is two sleeves turned down. They've got 3mm wall thickness, so they're chunky boys. And these obviously, I don't know, I say obviously, you can't really see, but they've got different ODs. This one, if I can do this with one hand without making an excessive amount of noise and deafening everybody, is a nice fit. It looks like it's gappy there, but the diameter is slightly smaller here. These will be turned, cut down slightly, and I'm going to put in a bird's mouth, because by putting the bird's mouth in, if you put the heat in it as it is, you're putting the heat in a single plane, which gives you like a shear. Puts it in, basically if it's going to shear, it will shear in that plane where you've got the heat. This was sort of told to me by Mark when he was doing the shafts for me. So I'm just going to bird's mouth each side, because if you put the bird's mouth in, you're no longer just putting that single plane, and that's a point of failure. This one, there is a slight issue. It doesn't fit over this end of the shaft at the diameter it needs to be in the middle. So I'm actually going to slice it. I'm going to bird's mouth it first, and then I'm going to slice it, slide it over, weld, weld, and then weld around. So I'm going to bird's mouth this. Now, to put a bird's mouth in this, I'm going to find roughly the center. So it's boot there. Slightly in from there because of the thickness of the pin. This doesn't have to be exact for what we're doing here, but just something close. So obviously the center will be the biggest point. The scale on this here square isn't really right for that, but you could actually pretty much just eye this. But once you've done that, it's literally a case of getting, let's use these and do it properly. So the OD on this is 30mm. God, that's some good. That was good. Whoever turned that did good. It wasn't me, by the way. So we actually need 15mm, like that. There's a cap down there, and just put a mark at 15mm. Put a mark at 15mm. Just draw that in a bit better. 15mm. 15mm. Gonna let the cat out because he's probably got swarf in his feet by now. Go on, bud. And all you need to do then is from this point here, just literally by hand, want to sketch to there. Same again here to there. To there. And to there. If you cut them down, you get your flat disc in, give it a little wiggle around, you actually end up with a really nice bird's mouth. It's less critical on this because we're not mating it to another tube. It's just to reduce that stress plane. That's how we do that. I'm going to duplicate this on all four, cut them out, and we'll come back and have a look. So there we have it. Just need to weld it all up. I'm going to make sure it's all clean before I start tigging, because I only really get one shot at this. So make sure it's all nice and clean, and then crack on. I'm not really trying to join this to the shaft. That will come at each end, but probably unavoidable to some extent. Get it cleaned up, get it burnt in, rinse and repeat. So, guess here goes nothing really, but what we have, I've got myself some 312 rod, which is for dissimilar metals. My tungsten was sharp once upon a time, still is actually, so that's good. we're just gonna get it tacked up, then we can whop the grips off and have a go at actually burning it in.
Shut up and sit down.
Yay! So that's the sleeve. Back is one piece of metal. Welds really nicely actually. Mild steel always does, and that 312 rod is just wicked stuff. Can't take the credit for it. Obviously, Mark, being the professional who I went to see to get these done, gave me that tip, but great tip. So if you need to weld metal steel together that you're not too sure about the grade of, etc., that 312 is banging. It's not insanely expensive either. Anyway, let's weld round each end, and then we can have a look at copy and pasting onto the other one, but without having to do this bit, which will be save a bit of time. So let's weld the ends.
Shut up and sit down.
Got my eye in a bit better on this one. I think it was maybe a bit cleaner at this end as well. A bit less ingrained dirt, because you see it been turned here. Whereas when you've got this texture, it's super hard to get the dirt out. But it welds really nicely when you've just got clean metal and metal. That is, as far as I can tell, the secret to nice TIG welding. But anyway, 2 shafts done. Just got to let them cool down. So on to the next job, which is going to be the front engine mount, or at least that's what we were going to be looking at. However, upon further consideration, when I got in here and started looking at my planned method of mounting, which was to just add in a bolt-in cross member at the back here, across there, which picked up on the mount here, I thought, should probably check on the rad fitting, which is what I did next, and this is the result of that. Right, so not for the first time in my life, as we can now begin to see, size is becoming an issue. The rad's in, and there's not a lot of space between it and the inlet. We could get a smaller slimline fan to fit in there, because the OE one doesn't fit. But, bigger issue, the inlet at the top here just clouts everything. So this rad's a no-go. The Celica rad is too big and doesn't fit in the aperture there, so I've ordered an Avensis / Corolla rad, which seems like it will fit in the space, and we're just going to have to knock up some brackets to get it held in place. That has the inlet here, and it actually has the filler about here, so hopefully when we look at that next week, all will be well. The other thing we're going to look at next week is this. So this is the standard math and airbox, etc. I wanted to run that, but look at basically not a chance. I mean, you could probably, I don't know, maybe squeeze it in, but that needs to join to that.
it's a no-go for me. So we'll be looking at a solution to that next episode as well. All in all, this has not been successful for engine mounts, but such is life. And yeah, that's it for this one. So until next week, when we start to look at all those issues, take care of yourselves, have a good one, and I'll see you then.